Society has taught us that we are separate from our bodies, and that our bodies, especially for women, are evil. We hear the term meat suits, that our body is just a meat suit, just something our soul puts on, and it really isn't important. I beg to differ. And I don't think that our bodies are a temple either, that are sacred and to be worshipped. It's in the middle of that. We, to be whole and complete, we are both a spiritual being and a physical being. We chose as spirits to incarnate into this physical body, to have a physical experience on this physical realm. We can experience physicality without a physical body. It's necessary, but it isn't a necessary evil. It's something that we chose. We can have, and I have had, intense spiritual experiences while in our physical body. To be whole and complete, we need to find that balance of our physicality and our spirituality. And one of the ways that we can do that is our body. Our body is that bridge between the physical and the spiritual while we're in this physical world. We cannot love ourselves wholly and completely if we hate an aspect of ourselves. And many of us, especially women, hate our bodies. And our bodies are an aspect of us. Genetics and DNA, science says, determines what we look like. But I can look in the mirror and I can see some of my mother and my sister there. But I'm completely different. And genetics and DNA don't explain it. If it was just genetics, we'd be cloned. We'd look exactly like our parents, but we don't. One of the reasons we don't is because of our soul, of our spirit, which is incarnated into this body. Because I, Torah, am a different soul than my sister or my mother or even my daughter, we look different. Because the way I interact in the world, that I as soul interact in the world through this body, is different than the way they do. So things subtly change in the body. There's an amazing book called The Biology of Belief by Bruce Lipton, in which we can change our biology through our beliefs. Our beliefs are an aspect of our soul. So our souls change our bodies. I know that as I change and embody my feminine divine presence more and more, my body's changing. My voice is changing. Before, my voice was much higher. It was more in that headspace if you're a singer. Now, as I embody, my voice is dropping. It's more here. It's more chest voice. And as a singer, your chest voice is that more full voice. As I embody my feminine divine presence, my soul, my body shape is changing. Ourselves, our spiritual selves, does have an impact on our physical body. Do you love your body? What do you need to do to change how you feel about yourself. In this integral connection between our spiritual self and our physical self, the way that we think and believe and feel about our body is reflected in how we think and feel about ourselves. It also opposite to that. How we feel about ourselves is reflected in our body. I have had the experience where I have lost 20 pounds within just a couple weeks. I did not change my diet. I was still eating predominantly fast food. I didn't change my exercise. I was working as a CPA and I did not have time to exercise. And I was running my daughter back and forth between ballet lessons. I had no time for me to do all the things we're supposed to do to lose weight. And I dropped 20 pounds. You know what changed? How I felt about me and how I felt about my body. I came into a place of where I loved myself. I loved my body. And the extra weight my body was holding because I didn't like myself, didn't like my body, dropped. Also had the opposite happen. When I'm not happy about me, when I'm unhappy about my life, I gain weight. Because I'm not happy with my body, I'm not happy with me, I'm not happy with myself, and that's reflected in my body. So we have this connection there. To find balance and self-love, we need to love our bodies, because we cannot have self-love when we hate an aspect of ourselves, and our body is an aspect of us. One of the ways that we can change this to find this self-love is to heal the idea that self-love is wrong, that it's selfish. No, self-love is self-fullness. It's taking care of ourselves. Because if we don't take care of ourselves, nobody else will. If we don't take care of ourselves, we can't take care of anyone else. You know, that old saying and that old analogy of we cannot serve others or help others from an empty cup. The way that we fill that cup is by taking care of ourselves. If we take care of ourselves, if we love ourselves, if we do the things that's right for ourselves and for our bodies, then we can take care of our families better. We can take care of and do the service work that we need to do. Especially women, we tend to have service work. We can't be the coaches that we need to be. We can't be the healers or the teachers we need to be, or the doctors, or the lawyers, or the accountants, or anything else, if we're not taking care of us, if we're not filling our cup with what makes us happy. A second way to do this is to do the healing we need to do about showing up for the male gaze. The male gaze is not healthy. The male gaze wants us to be underweight and look like little girls. If you're over 20, you are not a little girl. Depending on your body type, you're not going to have a flat tummy. I'm a mature woman. I don't have a flat tummy, and I never will. I have a squishy tummy, and that's okay. I can still love my body. I can still believe and think that I'm beautiful because I'm not dressing or looking or feeling attractive for the fucking male gaze. My gaze is the one that's important. Do I feel like I look beautiful? Do the clothes that I wear make me feel good? Good example of this are the Swifties. I don't necessarily follow Taylor Swift, but my daughter does. So I've learned more about Taylor Swift because of how much my daughter adores her. As a Swiftie, when she went to the Taylor Swift concert, not once, but twice, and to the movie, she dressed to the nines. She put on a super cute dress and did her makeup and her hair, had her nails done, wore high heels. friendship bracelets, sparklies. It was not to be attractive for her husband. It was not to be attractive for the men at the concert, because the only men at the concert were there because of their wives and their daughters, or they were gay. She wasn't dressing for the male gaze. She and her friend were dressing because they felt good in that. They looked and felt amazing. And that's something that Taylor Swift is encouraging her fans, is to look and feel good because that makes you happy. Taylor Swift, if you watch Taylor Swift and more that I learn about Taylor Swift, she is a good example, an excellent example of a woman who is embodying her feminine divine presence. She's powerful. She's feminine. She does and writes the songs that makes her happy. And she's making a lot of money doing that because it also makes women happy, because she's not singing songs for men. She's singing songs that her women can relate to. And fuck the male gaze. And fuck the male sensibilities. And I think more and more women need that. We need to be like that. And she's a good example for us to follow. So to be in your feminine divine and to love your body, find what makes you happy. That's all that matters. So what makes you happy? What makes you feel good? Because when you feel good, you love yourself. You love your body. You love who you are. Are you a Swiftie? Have you dressed up just to go to the concert because it makes you feel good? And if you're not a Swiftie, how often do you dress up and wear what makes you feel good just because? I've started doing that more often. And my dad, I live with my elderly parents, and my dad will say, "Oh, you look so good today. Are you going somewhere?" "Yeah, downstairs to work." I'm doing it not because I'm going to be out of the house where somebody can see me, a male can see me. I'm doing it because I like the way I look. I like the way I feel when I do that. And there are times when it's like, the only thing I feel like right now is t-shirt and leggings. No makeup. Does that make me less feminine? Does that make me love myself less? No. That's what I felt like in that moment for that day. And it's okay. We don't have to look fabulous every day if that's not what's right for us. Some days it is a no makeup pajama day, and you're no less for it. You're just as worthy as the days when you put on your makeup and that cute dress that makes you look and feel amazing. As long as you are doing it for you, it's all good. So share with me, do you dress for you? Are you dressing for someone else? Do you act a certain way for someone else? Are you losing weight to look a certain way because that fits the male gaze? Or are you losing weight for you to feel good? There's a difference.